What's up, everyone? I know it's been a while since I uploaded, so I figured, you know what, let's just shoot a shot and upload a video of me going over the finished car, the finished Pro-Am car, because believe it or not, I did actually get it done, even though I didn't really record it. I didn't have enough time to sit there, record every little step, honestly, because I hit a point where it was just crunch time. Like, it was like, if I take a break, I might not make it to spring mats to test. I might not make it to round one at all. You know what I mean? So I do want to make a video of going over it with you guys, just so you can see all the progress. I can go over what I did, you know, just let you guys have an inside look at this piece of art that I made. So let's get into it. So first off, starting with the engine bay, this honestly is the most crazy part of everything. As you can tell, it looks beautiful, dude. I ain't even gonna lie. It looks so good. So first we have a Link boost control solenoid and a AGP turbo. I'm not sure of the exact size. I want to say 56 millimeter. I can probably put the exact model and everything on the screen here, so I could figure that out for you. We do have, I think, Audi coil packs. I just ordered them off ECS Tuning, and it's just what my brother ran. It worked great for his car, so I just copy and pasted. This whole car pretty much is kind of a copy and paste of my brother's car because, you know, why change it if it's not broken? His car worked all of last year with very minimal issues, so we just went ahead and went with what we know worked. So next up, we do have a Motion Raceworks catch can. This thing is working really well, so I have no complaints about it. We do have a Link Lambda sensor ran here, working great, no complaints. I have the Link ECU in here. Most of all my really important sensors are Link. I also have a Link map sensor over here that runs to the intake manifold. I have a rear mount radiator, so I have AN lines going from the water pump and thermostat housing back through the car back to the rear radiator. OEM, alternator, power steering pump, everything's factory. Only thing done to the motor is head studs, and that's about it. I did do an aluminum valve cover, but that's pretty common on these. M50 manifold. This is an M52 B28 iron block. US, so because in the US they made them iron. I'm pretty sure over in Europe or overseas anywhere else they made them aluminum block. So yes, this is pre-TU M52. This thing shreds. It sounds so good. I love it. I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with this motor setup. Everything's working, sounds good, runs great. Downpipe was fabbed by my friend Steve. He did a great job. Looks pretty good. Nice and golden, little blue, purple up here. Looking pretty good. But same with my intercooler mounting here, fabbed up by Steve. The whole exhaust as well, and the mounts on the radiator. So yeah. On the interior, we do have a CoolWorks shifter. Took a little bit of finagling to get it to work perfect, but we eventually got it. Thanks to my friend from Team Dirty Work, Matt Lang. He gave me the connecting rod from the shifter to the transmission that worked, because E36 and E46 connecting rods are different. So if you are ever having trouble with the misfitting shifter, if you're putting a ZF from an E46 in, maybe that could be your issue. Link ECU, as I mentioned previously. Over here I do have a NRG quick release hub, Link ECU, a CAN lambda gauge, and a Switch Pros switch panel. Early on in the season, we did have a issue with the Switch Pros. So my brother had ran it in his car in years prior, and basically from it just being loose, nothing to do with like the brand, we just messed up on our own and didn't mount it correctly. So one of the wires, the power wire, was starting to come out and broke apart, and without that we couldn't start the car. So we had to solder together the power wire, and it was very sketchy, but it worked for spring mats, and for Pro-Am we had gotten another panel and everything was all good. And then we have a Sicky handbrake from Drift HQ, and I used a Garagistic pedal adapter so that way we could use drive-by wire for the throttle, and it worked flawlessly with the Link ECU, so that was all good. My seat is a Momo seat. Got it from Summit Racing, and I love it. No complaints about the seat. feels really nice, fits me well. So yeah, I have Sparco racing harnesses that actually expire this year, but they were in my brother's car and I really needed a harness, so went ahead and snagged those from him. These are his passenger seat harnesses, so he still has his. Firewall looks sick. It was done by my buddy Andrew Burcone, and he absolutely killed it. I love this firewall. It's awesome. Very happy. He also welded in the cage, which looks killer. Very happy with that as well. No dash because I kind of messed up the one that came in this car, so we're not going to talk about that. And all of the sleeving going through the car here is heat sleeved and heat sleeved on the fittings, so everything here in here is protected in case of a fire. Back here you can see the radiator lines run through the water pump, Davies Craig water pump from Summit Racing as well. We have a Moroso expansion tank in the back here. We have running to the radiator. This thing I just got off eBay, honestly, and it's working pretty good. It keeps my car pretty cool. Same with the fans. I do want to switch to some little more powerful fans. Maybe have one less powerful, one more powerful fan. But they're doing the job for now. I fabricated this bash bar up. The plates are a little thinner than I wanted to, and they warped really bad. So I could only get like 2 bolts in each side. So I'm gonna have to remake that at some point, but it works for now. It looks good enough and it works, so I'm happy with it. I do have Big Duck Club rear quarter panel replacements on this thing. I love them. Looks pretty good. Fitment's pretty good. And the front fenders as well are Big Duck Club, which are pretty sweet. They even have a little duck emblem on the inside of the fender, which is sick. Also have an Optima battery. Picked that up at my local AutoZone. That thing is pretty beast. Worked in my brother's car. I've never had an issue with it. We also do have this kill switch up here. Got the mount from Rad Dan. Beautiful mount, and it's mounted in really well. Like not even moving a centimeter, millimeter, whatever you want to call it. Works really well. Pull the button out. You can see it turns all the electronics on, which is pretty cool. Press the button in, turns them all off, kills the car. It is all because of this Gigavac back here. Kills the battery. Not sure how it works exactly, but this thing's pretty beast mode and it does the job, so it's pretty awesome. Now, as you can tell, I'm kind of short on body panels right now. I'm gonna get some new steer tires because these ones are way too fat. 255s. I don't know what I was thinking, but we're gonna go ahead and get that fixed up too. For my rear tires, I am running Zestino 265 35 18 340 tread wear for the comp. And when I'm not running comp, I am running Ironmans. They're just pretty cheap. Can't beat the price for the laps. They're one of the best tires. I ran them on this thing for the longest time. This thing's looking like junk, but you know, it's okay. Ran them on that for the longest time. Absolutely shredded with those tires. I love the amount of grip for the price. You really can't beat them. Ironmans and full ways are the best price per lap, in my opinion. They're pretty cheap. You know, some tires out there you see really good deals for, really cheap, and they only, weirdly enough, they only work on some cars. You know, some cars will say they're amazing, some cars will say they're awful. I mean, same with Ironmans. You just got to find what works for your setup. I don't think there's any one tire, one brand answer to every single car. I think you really have to figure out your setup, what you like, what you want to run, and what's good for your car. What does your car, you know, because everyone's alignment's different. Everything's different on every single car, so you just got to find what works for you. And these just happen to be the perfect tire for this car and that car for me. So yeah, if you wanted to know, that's my entire rundown of my car. Okay, so here we are. I really am very excited to get this thing ready for this weekend. So first things first, I did have issues entering in the last Pro-Am layout. So I am going to change my wheel speed. And how do I do that? Simple answer for you. I changed my rear differential. So in your differential, there are gears, and depending on what gearing you have, it changes your wheel speed. Right now in this car right now is a 292 or 293, one of the two. So for every one time you turn the wheel, your drive shaft spins 2.92 times or whatever. Right now I'm only running second gear and it's just not enough wheel speed. Third gear is a little too much, maybe good for like a bank round, but I'm not too confident with it yet. So I'm gonna have to up my gearing so that third gear will feel really good for maybe an infield layout. I have enough wheel speed to get through entry. So I'm able to light my tires off as quick as I need to, you know, in the chase when I'm pulling handbrake and dropping RPMs. So that way I can get my revs back up and not bog down and straighten and whatever. So I'm putting a 391 in this car and hopefully running third gear. Second gear is probably gonna be way too short. Probably not gonna be able to run it at all. I'll probably start off in second gear, honestly, from the line. So where is this 391 differential, Luke? Well, let me show you. Boom, here she is. As you can see, these are the gears. Honestly, I have no idea how this thing works. I have some understanding, but all that matters is when you turn this guy down here, these two move together instead of separate now. So when I'm driving, both my wheels are turning at the same time instead of turning at different rates of speed. That way it makes it easier to, you know, get sideways, get both tires spinning at the same time. As you can see, it's welded in here. We go ahead and weld these gears together. That way it locks both sides of the differential together. Therefore, both axles will spin at the same time. As you can kind of see, if I turn this, it'll slowly turn. It'll also slowly turn this side as well. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. You can kind of see it working. So, yeah, I'm going to have to clean this guy out, put the cover on it, put some fluids in it, and throw it in the car. One other thing that I already did was I lowered it all the way. Before, my car was kind of like this. Whoa. Before, my car was kind of like this. Well, not that drastic, more like that. And I just kind of wanted to sit more flat because the front wheels are 17 inches, rears are 18. I did that for the simple reason of my brother runs 18s in the rear because he has an E36. I run 18s in the rear. We can run the same tire. Just order everything in bulk. We don't need to be like, oh, we need, you know, if I need to borrow a set of his tires at a Pro-Am round, I can just throw them on. I don't have to go find another set of 17s or whatever. So I am running 18s in the rear and 17s are in the front, but you know, you don't have to change those tires as much as you do the rears. You don't really need as many spares of those. Matter of fact, neither of us have spare front tires, so I don't even have front tires, honestly. I have to order some for this weekend. Hopefully they get here in time. But also, whenever you raise or lower the car, you do have to adjust the toe, you do have to adjust the camber, so I'm gonna have to make some of those adjustments at the track because sometimes it's hard to tell how your car is gonna wear until you're actually driving the layout. And then last thing is I am going ahead and getting all these panels painted and put on the car so it's gonna look complete. So that's gonna be super sick and I can't wait to see that. One other little thing is when I was loading my car on the trailer at my brother's house, you probably see here, but this piece of wood just decided to, you know, stick up. So whenever I loaded my car on the trailer, I mean, we thought, you know, it'll clear, dude. This thing's Baja truck looking, you know. It didn't clear. It did not clear. It only hit my exhaust V-band. So I got to put a new one of those on because it is leaking from it now, unfortunately. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions about the car, its setup, what I did to make everything work, to make everything fit, feel free, leave a comment. I'll do my best to reply, maybe mention some stuff in the next video if I get there. But for now, just leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys But for now, just leave a like and subscribe. Stay updated for any more new videos that I decide to make. Hopefully this weekend I record some and am able to get those videos out to you guys. So thank you, and I will see you guys soon.